So with that, I will invite our first speaker, who is an alum, Lucy Varpetian, to kick off the panel. Thank you.
Thank you, Anahit. Good morning, everyone. From the Armenian Bar Association, I want to say that we're very proud to be co-sponsoring this event again this year. We're grateful to Dean Anahit Garahanian, Dean Dickerson, and the entire Southwestern team for having the vision to host this type of a program. I haven't checked, but I think this is probably the only one of its type in the country where you bring in prospective students and talk with them specifically about what you can expect and make those early connections within the law school itself and then with alums as well. And that's what I want to focus my comments on today, which is building a community and starting that network fairly early on in the process. I have to say I'm still in touch with my fellow law students from Southwestern. And sometimes even when I'm not there, for example, my friend Jean Chioda, whom I haven't seen in years, when he sees Judge Sinanian, he passes on his greetings, and Judge Sinanian always shares them. And it's a good way for us to continue to connect with each other. I say this because the practice of law is a very small community, and we run into each other all the time. There's always someone on whom you can count to help you through a process. Even if you're in solo practice, there's individuals that you can call upon to strategize, discuss ideas. It's really critical for you to give some weight on building that network and that community very early on. For me, I found getting involved in the Armenian Bar Association the way to build an instant community. I've been involved with the Armenian Bar since I was a student. I currently serve as the chair, and I am now in a very unique position to assist students and lawyers network, reach resources that they may not otherwise be able to get to, and build and expand one's career. This community goes far beyond and long after law school. As I said, today we work with also senior lawyers who may be interested in becoming a judge. And I do want to put in a plug. Southwestern has a very rich history of having its graduates become members of the judiciary. I think once you get started, you could check with the school to see how many of the sitting LA Superior Court judges are also Southwestern grads. So my message to you is that find your community and continue to build on it and contribute to it. Personally, I'm a Glendale City attorney. I've been there for a little over 20 years. I'm a transactional lawyer. I work on matters that relate to the broad citizenry of the city. Speaking of building communities, one of your presenters a little bit later on is someone that I've started to work with on a more regular basis as outside counsel. So I think having had the experience of connecting in this fashion, learning about each other, actually turned into a referral and an opportunity to work together. So that's what I want to leave you with. I would say if you're considering law school, Southwestern is a really good place to be, specifically because they nurture that relationship of building out your community. I'll be in one of the breakout rooms. I look forward to meeting you all.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Razmik Sarkisian. I am a research attorney with the Los Angeles Superior Court in their Civil Litigation Division. It's truly an honor to be here. I'm a somewhat recent graduate of Southwestern from 2022, and I've always been interested in consumer rights, consumer class actions, data breach, cybersecurity. I completed the concentration in technology law and entrepreneurship while I was a student at Southwestern. And I'm very fortunate that I'm able to apply some of what I had learned at Southwestern into my current role as a research attorney, where I do get to work on class action settlements and be exposed to data breach and privacy litigation, which is still very novel and coming into form as a area of practice. In terms of how I went about building my legal career and getting into my current position, I'm still early on in my legal career, as explained. I graduated about 3 years ago. And as I was getting close to graduating and getting ready to study for the bar, I reached out to fellow alumni, such as Lucy and others that Southwestern had put me into connection with. And she really advised me about considering government work and how, folks are usually focused on these big law opportunities and elsewhere. And she really gave a good pitch for the importance of public interest and the benefits of working for the government, the experience that you get, the wisdom that you get to be surrounded by. And I really took that to heart and saw that the Los Angeles Superior Court had an opportunity for a limited term clerkship. It's called the law clerk. And you can, if accepted, you can perform that role for 2.5 years. And I went ahead and did that, and I was fortunately placed in a really good spot with a lot of experience and brilliant judges. And I loved it so much that I applied after 2 years to become a permanent research attorney and was thankfully promoted. And that's where I am currently. I could see myself in the future going private, but for now, I'm loving where I am. I'm learning a lot. And I'm just trying to be a sponge and build my reputation and career. So the advice for you all would be not to rush the process. Whether you're prospective or in your 1L, you shouldn't be caught ahead and worrying about the bar already from your first steps in law school. Look at what's in front of you and focus on doing your best there. Trust the process. When you're in the middle of briefing cases, you might not feel like you're doing what a lawyer needs to do. You might feel like, oh, this is boring, but trust the process. You're doing this to build the core legal skills that are going to be the foundation of your practice and your work. And always connect with others genuinely. Don't approach any relationship as transactional or cynically, because these authentic connections are what's going to drive your career. The networking that you do is not just a function. It's really the lifeblood of this career, and your peers are going to be what drive you in the future. So thank you, and I look forward to answering your question.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Arpa Abrahamian. I'm an administrative law judge with the Department of Social Services, specifically in-home supportive services. I hear cases regarding people that are either have physical disabilities or mental disabilities, and they need support from the government so that they can safely stay at home. Before this job as an administrative law judge, I was a public defender. I was a public defender for about 15 years, maybe a little more. I graduated and passed a bar in 2009. And when I could not find a job in LA, I began applying to other counties. So I knew I wanted to work in public interest. So I applied for Madera County Public Defenders. And I was in Madera County for about 2.5 years. After Madera County, I went to Kern County Public Defender's Office for about little over 3 years, actually. And then finally, I moved to LA, and I was with the LA County Alternate Public Defender's Office. Being a public defender really helped me with my trial skills, writing skills. I was in court all day, every day, whether it was handling my calendar or doing preliminary hearings or arguing motions or actually being in trial. Being a public defender helped me with this position as an administrative law judge because I feel there is a lot of credibility findings I have to do. My hearings are mostly over the phone. I don't see these individuals. I don't see the social workers. I don't see the county representatives. I don't see the authorized representatives or the claimants. So I have to ask the right questions to find out what's really going on. And because I was always in trial and always in court and questioning witnesses, that really helped me with asking the right questions from these individuals. And also, I think that because I represented indigent individuals as a public defender, I have a better understanding of the challenges that disadvantaged people face. Again, the disadvantages might be because of the physical disability or the mental disability. And on top of that, for a lot of people, it's the economical challenges. So I have a better insight into what challenges they're facing, and I have a better understanding of their stories. The advice that I have is find what you're passionate about. I think that's very, very important. For me, my passion was public interest work. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be a public defender or a DA, a district attorney, and somehow I ended up in defense work, and I absolutely, absolutely loved it. And I think when you do what you're passionate about, you don't really feel you're working. You enjoy what you do, and naturally, because you're passionate about what you're doing, you become really, really good at it. And also, I agree with Razmik. We need a lot of people, more people in public interest work. It really pays off later because of the exposure you have, the experience that you have, the different people that you meet and you end up representing. It gives you a better, broader perspective and better understanding. So I 100% encourage people to look into public interest work. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Natasha Amanpour. I just first want to say thank you to Southwestern for having me here, and I'm honestly honored to be on the panel with all these other amazing attorneys. I went to Southwestern. I was an evening student. I graduated in December 2019, and I actually attended this prior to coming to Southwestern, and I attended it at my first year as well. Um, I am currently a family law associate at Meyer Olson Lowy and Myers, and I do love my job because I'm a people person. I had no idea I was going to be in family law. I actually went into law school thinking I was going to do something totally different. And I had a career prior to law school. Law school was my second career. And being in the evening program, I worked full time, and it was what I needed at the time. And I'm very lucky because it did teach me how to balance my time, honestly, for the rest of my life. And I'm still using what I learned as an evening student at Southwestern now. Um, Building your legal career. You start in law school, you start at these events. The people I met on my first day of law school, I'm still very close with, and we work together. And we're not all in the same field, but reputation is very important, and being kind to everyone you meet is huge. So I think that networking from when you start to wherever you end up is a big deal, and just being kind to everyone you meet. Um, and advice and tips while in law school and before law school, I do agree with everyone. I think you should be into something that you're interested in, but also don't be afraid to try something new. My last year as a Southwestern student, I decided I was going to take advantage of the externships available. I went to the DA's office, I worked with kids, and it really shaped me and showed me what I really liked about the legal profession and how it can be used in so many different ways. And I really think it opened my eyes to different possibilities. So I urge everyone to really take advantage of what Southwestern offers and um, take advantage of also the people you meet because everyone sees everything differently, and sometimes it helps you shape how you see it as well. So thank you again.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you can all hear me and see me. Not as much to see me, but hopefully you can all hear me. I'm Sam Abrahamyan, and talk about boring. In middle school, I wanted to be a criminal defense lawyer. Graduated from Southwestern in '96, became an attorney with the public defender's office, and that's what I'm still doing now. So thank you. You don't have to know, like everyone said here. You don't. Go into law school with the ambition of wanting to do something. It doesn't have to be necessarily something you've always known about. But I was fortunate, absolutely fortunate. I wanted to do criminal defense work, and there was no other place that I wanted to be. And I'm so fortunate that I was able to join the public defender's office in '96, jumped over to the alternate public defender's office. Same thing, except when there's a conflict in a case, it's a different type of group of public defenders who take on the cases. So that's what I have been doing since leaving law school. I wanted to be in court. I wanted to handle criminal cases, specifically defense work. And you start out with your most mundane, low-level misdemeanor cases, rising up all the way to handling the most serious homicide, special circumstance, capital cases. If that's what you want to do, that's the place to be. You're in court from the get-go. And obviously I had mentors and I had people that were more experienced than me that started my process, helping me out. And then fortunately, I am now in the position where I can do that to our new and incoming attorneys. I loved trial work. That's why I wanted to be an attorney. And that's what you do when you're doing work as a defense lawyer, as a public defender, now currently me with the alternate public defender's office. I see a lot of our Southwestern alumni in court, either on the bench, like Lucy mentioned, as a judge, or as opposing counsel. So it's pretty cool when you see someone that you went to law school with and now you're battling out in court. We have a good connection, our office, the alternate public defender's office, with Southwestern. So we have positions where law students at Southwestern clerk for our office, summer clerks, spring clerks, you name it. And then we've also now developed a post-bar clerk position where we have people currently, I think there's a handful that we just interviewed and they're going to start. You clerk for our office after taking the bar exam. And then upon passing the bar exam, it's your way in to immediately start as an attorney with our office. So we love the connection that we have with Southwestern. We've had some incredible clerks come through over the last number of years, and a few attorneys who have now started with our office with this post-clerk position. Law school itself, I remember when I started, those that maybe were before me, friends of mine, they tried to make it, maybe they're trying to scare me into a different position, a different path. I'm not sure. I loved the law school experience, specifically at Southwestern. Why? Number one, there's Lucy here, who I've been friends with since '96 when we started, '93 since we started law school upon graduating. You do make those connections, those bonds that go on forever. And Southwestern was intense in the sense of not scary or it was intense that they prepare you. You are prepared when you're at Southwestern. I'm not trying to pitch here now saying, hey, if you're thinking about law school, this is the place to be. I have no horse in the game when it comes to this, but you are prepared when you leave this school to take the bar exam, to take on any challenges when it comes to any career. That's what they do for you. And they do it in such a great, inviting way that you leave accomplished and you can literally tackle anything. You're going to see today with the speakers, we're in all kinds of areas when it comes to the law, but every single one prepared when they left and have succeeded. That's what you get out of Southwestern. So Gene, Lucy, you mentioned, I'll see him once in a while in court. And Maybe you haven't seen the guy in 10 years and you immediately bond because you remember the days at law school. That's what you want to get out of law school. You want to go in with that anticipation of, oh my God, 3 years law school, a bar exam, it's scary. It's not. It's doable. It's fun. It's going to be great. You're going to leave prepared for that next career. If it's criminal law like I did, go for it. That's awesome. Others are going to give you their experience. So many different options, but you're going to love it. So if you are one of those right now who are thinking about entering law school, do it. You're going to love it. And if you're thinking about Southwestern, I hope you get it because you're going to leave, hopefully one day, being on this panel, as fortunate and humbled as I am to speak to prospective students. That's the goal. So I also look forward to meeting you and anyone who wants to speak more at the breakout session, but that's my story. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm John Turanian. I am the Paul W. Wildman Chair and Professor of Law here at Southwestern Law School. And I'm delighted to take part in this wonderful event. Want to thank Anahid for always putting on such a great event. I know it's become really influential. And as we've seen from the testimonies of other speakers on this group, we now have graduates of the program actually speaking on the program, which is incredibly cool. I actually kind of have a double life. I'm a law professor, but I'm also the founding partner of an intellectual property and entertainment law boutique, One LLP. And in that role, I'm a litigator, a counselor, crisis management kind of a person in the field of entertainment, constitutional law, and intellectual property matters. And so in that capacity, my work usually deals with creatives in the fields of music, film, arts, literature, photography, theater, fashion, and athletics. And I handle litigation cases, oftentimes involving intellectual property issues like right of publicity, trademark, copyright, but also handle matters in all facets of the entertainment industry. So in the breakout rooms, I'm very happy to chat with you both about what it's like at Southwestern, career paths in terms of potentially becoming an academic, but also career paths in the areas of entertainment and intellectual property law. I think one of the things I just kind of want to pass on to everyone is the importance of, planting seeds in your community, planting seeds within the network of law students and other lawyers. Lucy, who talked earlier, mentioned that she's working with someone. That someone is me. Lucy and I met through the Armenian Bar Association and through this very event many years ago and have stayed in touch. And that's just an example of the types of community and networking and opportunities you can build for people who have common interests as you. So get involved in your bar associations, the Armenian Bar Association, the Iranian American Bar Association, or whatever bar association makes sense for you. There are substantive bar associations related to practice areas like the Copyright Society, like the Beverly Hills Bar Association that has a variety of practice groups, and they allow student memberships. It's a great way to get involved and get to know the very people you'll be working with in the future. The other thing I think that's important is volunteer. During your law school years, you have a chance to work in clinics to get substantive experience, but also doing pro bono work is not only a great opportunity to do good, but also to gain substantive experience that will later on help you in your career in a variety of ways. So plant seeds. And for those of you who are particularly interested in entertainment law, I did want to pass along some advice, which is everybody who's interested in entertainment law likes to tell you that they want to be an entertainment lawyer. But of course, there are lots of people that want to become entertainment lawyers. There's a high interest in that particular field. What's particularly useful from the point of view of employers and getting placed and having success is not just wanting to be an entertainment lawyer, but having a skill set that is useful in some facet of the entertainment industry. For me, that was expertise in intellectual property. Intellectual property is the lifeblood of the entertainment industry. So when I was out there looking for positions in entertainment, the thing that gave me an advantage was I was an intellectual property specialist. Now, you don't have to be that. You could be a negotiation specialist. You could be a labor law specialist, which is important in the entertainment industry. You could be an AI specialist. You could be any of those things. But getting substantive skill sets that are of value in the particular industry that you want to get into is, I think, one of the best ways to communicate interest and to get the attention of potential employers. And so that's something I think to think about as you go through your law school years and kind of plan your agenda. In any event, I'm really looking forward to chatting with you in the breakout rooms, and look forward to seeing you guys then.
Hey, everybody. What a great transition to another entertainment lawyer. Thanks, John. So my name is Sally Avitzian. I am in-house counsel at NBC Universal. So I guess the true entertainment, like the definition of a true entertainment lawyer. But before I kind of echo everything John said about being an entertainment lawyer, I just wanted to step in and give a little bit of background about how I got to where I got to. And ironically, I didn't go to law school to become an entertainment lawyer. I went to law school to become an appellate lawyer because that's where my passion lay. So at Southwestern, I had a wonderful experience being on the moot court, and also chairing the moot court program, and even winning best oralist competitions across the country. So it was a wonderful experience, and with the thought that, yes, this is what I want to do. One day I'm going to argue in front of the Supreme Court. And so with that in mind, I started my career at Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher, so big law. I was there for 5 years, and I hit the ground running in the appellate department. And then something switched. It wasn't all that it was cracked up to be in practice. And you think that this is something you want to do, that you think this is your career, and yeah, maybe you're even good at it. But the detailed aspect of becoming an appellate lawyer and sort of seeing the trajectory of how that was going to happen, it didn't seem as appealing to me at the time. And Gibson Dunn had a system called a free market system, which was great. You could essentially go work with any partner you wanted to. And I said, I want to work with an M&A partner. I want to see what's going on over there, because a large number of my class at Gibson Dunn were doing transactional work. So I sort of asked to work on a project, and basically that was the end of it. For the next 5 years, I became, yes, thank you, Anna. M&As, mergers and acquisitions, so essentially transactional work. So for the next 5 years, I did transactional work at Gibson, Dunn and Crutcher, until I came to the realization that, wow, I have no life, and I need a balance, and I want to have kids and start a family. So at that point, I started looking for going in-house. And when you are a transactional attorney at a big law firm, the opportunities are vast, very open to you. You actually get poached by headhunters to go in-house. And so that's essentially what happened. And that's how I ended up at NBC Universal. And I've been there now 15 plus years doing in-house work, transactional work. I'm on the distribution arm. So I basically am responsible for globally selling all of the TV shows and movies that NBC Universal, the studio, the TV arm cranks out. We sell it internationally. So if you're traveling to Europe and you want to watch something on Netflix, chances are I touched that deal and I made that happen so that you're able to watch something abroad. So that's essentially what I do now. I obviously love it. There's a great aspect. There's the a very cool element of being at a studio. But at the end of the day, I will have to echo that it is a grind still. It's a challenging job. It is, you report to executives who are extremely demanding and very colorful in entertainment. I'm sure you guys know exactly what I mean. And so it does have its challenges. I will just echo what John said in terms of being sort of an expert in entertainment, because that's essentially how you get your foot in the door and how you're valued by these executives. It's the area of expertise that you have to offer. It's not just walking into an interview or coming up to somebody saying, oh, I want to be an entertainment lawyer, because, everybody wants to be an entertainment lawyer. You have to add value. You have to truly want to work in the industry, because like I said, it is a grind, and it has its challenges. But again, I wouldn't trade it for anything. And it's also offered me the balance that I need to be a mom and be there for my kids. And so I'm always happy to talk about that as well. The only thing I will leave you with is that one of the most important things that I see, I do get hit up a lot by prospective law students, to have informational interviews, to talk about my practice and entertainment law. And sometimes those interviews come across as not truly genuine, as somebody who just wants to be an entertainment lawyer, but doesn't really know what it entails and doesn't really know, the ins and outs of it. And so there's not really like an intellectual conversation happening, and that's kind of off-putting. So I challenge you that if you really are interested in entertainment law, truly genuinely be interested in it and know about it. So when you are talking to entertainment lawyers like John and myself, you have that conversation and that connection, and you can actually do that networking that will place you into where you want to be eventually. I look forward to talking to everybody in the breakout rooms. And thank you, Anait, for inviting me every year. It's always fun.
Hi everyone, I'm Vahe Ambarsumzadeh. I had to shorten my name there on my camera so I could put the year of my graduation. I'm principal counsel at Netflix, and I used to work at NBC Universal for 7 years. I got into the entertainment industry. I was very lucky to get into the entertainment industry the way that I did. And I owe that all to the programs that Southwestern offers. The externship program was my first foot in the door, and I was able to work for a small independent distribution company called Hyde Park. And I worked there for the summer after my first year of law school, working directly with the general counsel there. I learned a lot, and I realized that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in entertainment somehow. Can't act, so I knew this was the right approach for me. And I'll give more credit to Southwestern because it wasn't just there. It was the career services team that the following year really helped me land my internship at NBC Universal in their rights group, which is their IP team. And they do chain of title assessment and copyright work. And I worked there for 2 summers. No, sorry, a summer and then another semester. They asked me to come back and be an intern again. And that was all I needed. The summer after I graduated from law school, they had an opening for an analyst role, which was a non-legal, non-lawyer position. And I jumped at it. Now, a little bit of regret. I do wish I would have taken a different approach and maybe spread my wings a little bit and tried to explore some of my other interests, because for the 2 years that I worked as an analyst, I felt like I had put myself in a corner. Working for 2 years post-graduation as a non-attorney, I felt like maybe I looked unemployable. But, I just kept chugging along, and eventually you have to be that squeaky wheel. And I became invaluable to NBC Universal, and fortunately they promoted me. And Lucy said at the beginning that the practice of law is very small, and it's so true. All of the promotions and the job opportunities I've had have been because of the connections I've made either in law school or in my career. And it's been so important. Those relationships are so important to foster, and to know just being genuine and being curious will get you so far. My current job as principal counsel at Netflix and their IP team, 3 of my colleagues are from NBC Universal, and I worked with them in varying capacities over the years. Many of my colleagues at Netflix now in different groups and business affairs are from Southwestern. One who graduated the same year as me, and we've kept this little community. We support each other, and really everything I owe to Southwestern. So if you have any desire to go to law school and be in entertainment, this is the school for you, and this school will help you get where you want to go. It's not going to be easy. You have to put in the work. You have to take the risks, but I have no regrets, and I'm happy to be here and chatting with you all.
Right. Good morning, everyone. I want to start with a powerful question. What's the one thing that lights your soul on fire? Something that you would dedicate countless hours, days, even, I guess, years to pursuing without hesitation. I'm Chris Kazarian, and today I want to talk about what many people here are already hitting on, but it's to inspire you to kind of think about the question after everyone gives you this brain dump here. And because that one question can dramatically transform your future career in law as you sit here today thinking about whether or not this is for you. I am the COO and General Counsel of DreamHost. We're a website design and cloud computing company. So earlier I asked you, what your passion is, and I want you to think about this very deeply. What is it that excites you to your core? What is it that keeps you awake at night in the best possible way? For me, when I was in law school, it was the intersection of technology and business. While law was really exciting and interesting to me, I think technology and business were way more electrifying, and that was what I thought of as my passion. That's what I wanted to invest my time and energy into. So, quick story time here. Early in my career, I think, as most of you probably did, and many people in this room probably did, I envisioned myself purely as a traditional lawyer. I wanted to do litigation. I wanted to do advising clients. I wanted to sit there in the law firm library like they do in Suits and order Chinese food at 3 a.m. and read case law and have multiple highlights and really dig into the law. But as I started progressing, I realized that my legal training equipped me with way more invaluable skills like critical thinking and negotiating and managing risks and even running entire business units. And what I've learned over the years is that lawyers have a knack for risk management. We're very much able to couple that with business and with technology. And when you have a strength and a background like you do when you get a law degree, you have a very huge advantage when it comes to business because you're able to make decisions on the fly for the business while also knowing the law and the regulations when many others in the room don't. So with a powerful foundation of a law degree, I think you're uniquely positioning yourself in many other areas in life where you're able to make strategic decisions in the moment and understand the landscape that shapes those decisions. It's like having an ultimate playbook at your disposal, but it's not just limited to strict black letter law as you may think of in law school. And that's the point I'm trying to make here is getting a law degree is not just about becoming an attorney. It's more of a superpower, if you will. It empowers you to become a leader, a problem solver, a strategic thinker. So many people in this room have taken very non-traditional paths to exercising and making use of that law degree. So today, to give you some insight into how I enjoy that, I have the pleasure of working on operations at DreamHost. And that includes international expansion, that includes mergers and acquisitions, global partnerships, strategic growth, tech innovation, AI. It's all around the driving of the business and the growth, but it's also through the powerful lens of law, which is a fantastic background to have. And so another quick insight I'll give you, I teach cybersecurity law at Southwestern Law School. And each year I notice something very important. I notice that my students don't secure internships at Fortune 100 companies because they memorize statutes or because they're learning the law. No, that's not why. It's because they succeed in articulating how law interacts with technology and with real world business challenges. And I think as law students, if you do choose this path, there's a huge advantage for you to gain by seeing law not just as a profession, but almost as a tool that opens doors across industries for you. And that's exactly why I'm proud to talk about Southwestern Law School, which all of us attended. At Southwestern, you don't just learn the law, you kind of experience it through the school's fantastic classes and programs. I found this current job, which I've been at for almost 11 years now, through Southwestern's externship program. And it's been an absolute blessing in my life. So as you continue envisioning your future, I just kind of challenge you, especially after everyone stops talking and you have the speed dating with us. Is that what it's called? Think about this. Really use the power of a law degree and go ahead and write your own story fearlessly without any limits. Your dream future and whatever is your passion right now can be combined with law, and your future is completely yours to shape with the power and the backing of a law degree. You're not just limited to being a lawyer. There's so much more you can do. Thank you all.
Thank you, Chris. So before we hear from our next two speakers, Arpina Ismailian and Melody Sadian, I just wanted to jump in and say a word about the two firms where Arpina and Melody work. We're now transitioning to litigation practice. You've heard from prior speakers how incredibly important it is to build community, create relationships, including with opposing counsel, how important civil interactions are. And so Arpina Ismailian is with the law firm of Yoka Smith, a very prominent defense litigation firm. Melody Sadian is with a very prominent plaintiff's firm, Hannah Shea. And Yoka Smith, Walter Yoka, and Brian Panish, so two giants in the world of litigation, one on the defense side, one on the plaintiff side, both Southwestern alums, have the most incredible civil professional relationship, friendship, and even got together to establish a civil justice fellowship for Southwestern students. For each summer, create an opportunity for several students who are interested in litigation work and trial work to become Yoka Panish Fellows, which comes with a financial award, but more importantly, spending 5 weeks with a defense firm and then 5 weeks with a plaintiff's firm. And in the chat, I'm going to put the link to a story we did about the fellowship that was established several years ago. But just to really use this as one example of how incredibly important it is to build relationships while you're in law school and continue those relationships post-law school, even if you end up on the different sides of, criminal defense and prosecution or civil litigation, defense and plaintiff side. And theirs is one beautiful story of that. So now I'll hand it back to Arpina to continue with the panel.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Dingar Kanyan, for this opportunity and for that introduction. That was really important, the relationship. And after what Chris said, so I am a senior trial attorney at Yoka Smith, and I am that attorney who probably eats Chinese food at 3 a.m. because I am prepping for trial. As you know, currently I'm actually preparing 4 cases for trial that are set to start within the next 4 to 6 months. One to start next week. So my practice focuses on defending Fortune 500 companies, big corporations in lawsuits, and we mainly handle premises liability and products liability cases. They're very high exposure cases, so the stakes are always high. We deal with very sophisticated clients who understand the process, who know how it works, so the demand is very high. I started with, so I graduated from Southwestern in 2014, started in 2010 in the police program. So I had 2 kids when I started law school. I had 2 daughters. One was 5 months old and the other one was 2 years old. So I was dealing with babies, and law school. And I had my 3rd one after I graduated from law school. So I have 3 kids now. The police program was actually a blessing for me because I just didn't think that it was even possible. I started law school thinking, I'm going to try to know that I did it and I tried it. I'm pretty sure it's not going to work out. And here I am today, working on big cases. So never allow anybody to tell you that there's something, that you can't do it or it's hard, because there's always somebody dealing with a challenge and they still do it. I knew from day one that I wanted to do litigation work. I love being in the courtroom. My husband says if you can buy a sleeping bag and just sleep in a courtroom, I probably will. I just enjoy it so much. You probably will not know what you want to do while you're in law school, but also try to focus on, I'm pretty sure you will have an idea, right? Do you want to do transaction work? Do you want to do litigation work? Networking is extremely important, but remember, time is also very sensitive. We don't have all the time in the world. So I always recommend networking with the right people. I actually, my first year in law school, because I had kids and I had a job, I couldn't network as much as I wanted to. And I was always panicking. Oh my God, Anna is networking so much and John is networking so much. And then I said, you know what? It's okay. You don't have to network every day. You socialize with people, you opportunities will present. Just be fair to yourself. Don't be harsh. Don't be hard. Don't think just because you're not out there actively networking every single day, your career is not going to be as bright as somebody else's. You will always meet the right people, but when you do it the right way, right? So your reputation will follow you. Make sure that from day one, you have a good reputation. Up until today, when I get a new case, the first thing I look up is the judge and the opposing attorney. I make calls. I want to know who I'm dealing with. You don't want to be that attorney. People are going to say, oh, she's terrible or she's too competitive. So just remember, it's a small community. Be fair, be good, do your job, do your best for your client, but don't let that take away from being a good human being, being a good attorney. Be available for others, answer questions. I am always available. I get calls from different attorneys, new attorneys, older attorneys asking for advice. So just be available and know that it's a big world out there. With a small community, you can definitely make a change in people's lives, in your clients' lives, and in your own life. Be fair to yourself, be good to yourself, and just don't ever underestimate that you can do it. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Good morning, everybody. First, I want to thank Dean Gurakhanian and Southwestern for having me here today. My name is Melody Sadian. I graduated in 2017 doing the traditional day program at Southwestern. I work at a plaintiff's personal injury firm, Panashe Ravapudi. But to take a step back, I started out kind of differently. And if there are two things that I can say is you need a combination of hard work and networking. And I agree, you don't need to kill yourself to do it, and you don't need to do it every day. But those two things is what brought me to Panashe Ravapudi today. Prior to that, like most of you, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to go to law school, and that is completely okay. I worked at an immigration firm, clerking there, even before law school, and I said, okay, I don't think this is for me. Then I worked at an entertainment law firm, and also realized this is not something for me. And by the way, the way I got those two, I was always clerking. The way I got those positions is because I reached out, I made phone calls, I gave my resume, I offered really to do anything and anything I possibly could at the firm. I didn't even want to get paid. I just wanted to be a fly on the wall and learn. And I asked to, go out for a cup of coffee to get just some more information. And so anyway, I worked at an entertainment law firm, and actually for a Southwestern alum who still serves as my mentor to this day. And he said to me, I can see this is not this is not something you enjoy doing. Have you thought about personal injury? And I said, okay. And he referred me to Brian Panish. And at the time I was a young student. I did not know who Brian Panish was, and did my research and spoke to some people, and they were like, oh no, this is a very big deal. And so I worked at the firm. I clerked there every summer for 5 years. And it was one of the best experiences I had. But by the time I graduated, my curiosity got the best of me, and I wanted to know how it felt like to work at a defense firm. So I worked for a civil litigation defense firm, representing insurance companies and the insured for almost 3 years. And again, the power of networking, maintaining your relationships, you know, it all worked out. And I reached back out and said, you know, I realized I wanted to do plaintiff's work, and I'm here at back at Panashe Ravapudi, and I couldn't be happier. What I do now as a plaintiff's attorney, I find very rewarding. You really get to help people who have been, you know, through really tragedies and have suffered catastrophic injuries. I will say I'm very happy that I started at the defense firm the first few years. It gave me the foundation that I needed. But what I do now, I find to be very rewarding. And you know, you become a confidant for the client. You become a friend, a therapist, an advocate. So that's something that you have to be prepared for, obviously within reason, and you've got to set boundaries, of course. But I find that you get to really know your clients and to be able to help them in any way that you can, so that they can move on and recover. I found to be very rewarding. Litigation is not easy. It's long hours. It's hard work. I agree. You are not all the time, but certainly when you have trial, yes, you are up in the middle of the night researching, probably ordering Chinese food or whatever you can get your hands on, and any sugar you can find to kind of keep you going. And I will say I'm not the smartest person. I will say that right now. I think what got me to where I am is grit, determination, putting in the long hours, hard work, networking. Southwestern has a wonderful alumni base. There are a lot of events that Southwestern hosts. I suggest, again, you don't need to go to all of them, but as much as you possibly can, reaching out, following up, calling them, asking if they would, you know, do a coffee date or a phone call for 10 minutes, or even a Zoom to get to know them. Let them know you're interested. I can tell you a lot of places like my firm, and I'm sure Yoka and Smith, they're not necessarily posting jobs, right? They're hiring people that are showing interest. They're hiring people that have networked with them, reached out to them, and have been consistent. And I think networking is very, very important. And I can see from here, even most of the panelists, you know, they've reached out to someone, they've made connections somehow. I joined personally CALA even when I was a law student at Southwestern, which is the Consumers Attorneys Association of Los Angeles, CAOC. Definitely the Civil Justice Fellowship. I'm not sure if they have it now, but back then when I was a graduate, they had the ABOTA program, which was something similar. You worked every summer on the defense side, plaintiff side, and also for a judge. I did a clerkship when I was in law school and got credit for it. TAP, for those who you know, are interested in the field of litigation, the Trial Advocacy Honors Program is something that I did, and to this day I'm so thankful that I did it. It gives you as close as a real world experience as you could possibly get. And there was another panelist on here too who said, you know, Southwestern really prepares you, and I agree. I think they try to give you real world experience. They have the trial advocacy classes. They have attorneys, you know, who actually go to trial, and they teach you how to do voir dire. And I don't know that every law school is doing that. So I'm very thankful and happy that I graduated from Southwestern, and I agree that it's prepared me for the real world. I have some points here. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, but yeah, no, just to reiterate, I think putting in the hard work, the networking, and getting involved are key ingredients for success. And of course, I'm happy to answer any questions during our breakout sessions.
Hi all, my name is Alex Gregorians. I graduated in 2004 from Southwestern. It's 20 years ago. Seems like a very long time ago because it is. I attended the full day or day program, and it was a great experience. And I'll share a little bit of that with you. A little bit about me. I'm currently a partner at law firm Hanson Bridget. I'm the chair of the real estate finance group, which is what I do, and I'm also a member of the management committee of the firm. Really, thank you to Southwestern and Dean Darhanyan for putting this together, and thanks for all the panelists. I mean, I'm learning a lot just kind of being on this Zoom this morning, and I wish I had done something like this when I was making my decisions and what to do with my 20s and 30s, because we're really getting some good content here, and from really talented practitioners. So hats off to each of you as well. So I thought what might be useful for folks on the pen or on this Zoom to kind of hear from us as practitioners, and I'll share my background with you, but what themes we can kind of go through. Like for me, I started off at UCLA. I had started helped start a small real technology company. And we did great. We were a startup. We got VC money. We didn't do things correctly, by the letter of the law. We got sued by a publicly traded company. Up until then, I thought I would be in tech. That unwound, and I got to work with some really talented lawyers, figuring out our tech and how our defense would work, which really gave me a passion for the law. So I thought, all right, I would love to go to law school. It would be a great experience. And I thought, unlike Sally, I thought I would really want to be an entertainment lawyer. And when I got to Southwestern, I was exposed to all types of different practice fields. I ended up going into litigation first at a boutique, then a little bit larger firm doing real estate finance on the transaction side. And I just switched from litigation to transactional. And I went to an even larger firm and a larger firm. And throughout that, I think the one theme I wanted to kind of tie in together is, I thought I was going to be in tech. Then I thought I was going to be a litigator. Then I thought, well, I like transactional, and which is where I wound up. So change is good. And I think Southwestern kind of set me up for that, with all the programs, the professors, the networking, the different types of, professors that I would get introduced to. And really, my students really helped me kind of guide my career. So if I was going to leave you with something, I would say change is good. You don't have to know what you're doing on day one. You can feel it out. And just to echo some of the, I won't repeat them, but some of the practitioners said, network, do good, be a good person to the other person, to folks on the other side. I mean, those are basic kind of life, tenets to go by, but it really makes a difference in your career and what choices you make. And lastly, I would say, invest in yourself. Law school is a big commitment, and it's an investment in your future and in all of our futures. And really take it as that. And it's a job. You will do great. And build on relationships that you have, make new relationships, and work at keeping those relationships going. Because again, as so many other practitioners have said, this is a career of relationships, and the folks that you meet, you never know when you may cross paths again. But it's a really, really valuable community to build. And I built that, a lot of it through Southwestern. I still keep in touch with a lot of my classmates, and I'm happy to share more on the breakout about me or my career or anything of that sort. But wanted to thank you for the opportunity to be here, and I look forward to meeting some of you at the breakout.
Thank you so much to our panelists, whether you want to unmute or use the Zoom function. A big round of applause to all 12 panelists. Incredible content, very good advice, very good guidance, very inspiring, very affirming. And it sets the table well for the next segment of our program, which is the speed networking.